I'm ready to do it.
I think my favorite thing so far that I've seen in Archer, I love when he's beating the shit out of, I guess it's a secretary, and you're going, she tapped out. Like, you keep
Pam,
and they bleep almost half of it.
Yes, I'm like,
half of it's bleeped, and you just keep real calmly going, she tapped out. She tapped out. You just can't stop. And then finally you go, she peed. It really catches me. It's just great comedy because it completely catches you by surprise.
Right. It's nice also because Adam is he's like a barrier. You know what I mean? There's like always like a top story, and then there's just jokes just driven into the ground. And like if you watch it 3 or 4 times, you'll always hear new shit, which is great.
Do all the voice actors record separate, or do you guys,
we're totally
separate, which is amazing because it seems there's such a flow to all the, you know what I mean?
He does you have on Beats by Dre headphones, very fancy.
Thank you.
Really expensive. Very expensive. Only people can afford those are stoners and Swedish people. So
that's all I see anymore of those headphones.
The Beats by Dre, I know. We just got we gave out gift certificates for those, and I was like, they cost what? I never take the gift certificates from the show, but I was like, I will take that one.
Beats by Dre?
Beats by Dre.
As in doctor?
As in Dr. Dre, yeah.
He is a doctor.
Right? He is a doctor of...
How the fuck did I fall off? My last album was The Chronic. I'm like, damn, he's right.
Furious.
He's right. I remember driving to San Francisco going, oh my God, he's right.
He's right.
He didn't fucking fall off. This was the second thing.
Yeah. He's been making beats for other people. He's been making magic for others. What was the point of the whole story?
Archer, you got sent the script, and they said, "Please do this."
Just the voice actor.
We all are separate, and we see each other like twice a year. We see each other like at Comic-Con, and then like at like the whatever advertising stuff. But they just do a great job of smushing it together.
So you actually got sent the script, and someone asked you do this, and
my agent sent it and said, they're offering this to you. Do you want it?"
Wow.
And that never happens. I mean, I'll say for the record, it never fucking happens ever under any circumstances. And
was it drawn like you before you went in?
Yeah, she was already created. All the characters were already drawn. It's just magical that I look like my character.
You might.
I'm sorry. Everyone but John Benjamin kind of looks like their character.
He loves that too. He loves hearing that.
But that was just happenstance.
Yeah, and it's great. Like on the extras for season 2. We did a short film about how we all look like our characters except for John. It's really, really funny.
But don't you think Adam Reed sat around making sure the drawing looked like you?
The drawings came. No, I mean, she has evolved to look more like me now that the show's been on. But in the beginning, she just looked the way she looked. And like Jessica Walter, I think he had Jessica Walter in his head, but he didn't have her on the show. And Chris Parnell, like Chris and I together look like Cyril and Lana. Like it's ridiculous. Just magical shit, man.
I love Chris Parnell.
Chris Parnell's the greatest.
When he, for whatever reason, didn't get back to SNL, I remember me and Barry Katz having the conversation of, how do you let that guy go?
Was that your season?
Oh, no. It was way after. I'm like, how do you let Parnell go?
I know.
That's like going, all right, Jeter, you know what? Just sit out for a while. Like,
we're going to mix it up. I want to see what happens.
Like, Chris Parnell was the Phil Hartman of that.
He was the impressionist. He was the character actor, and also he was just like reliable, right? He was just a drill. He just came and he drilled it every single time. Yeah, he was great. He talked about it on my show. They let him go, and then they realized they shit the bed, and they brought him back.
And then he did go back?
And they went back for another 2 or 3 seasons.
He got fired with Horatio and Rachel, I think, and then he came back.
And he did like another 2 or 3 seasons after that.
And then how did he get let go the second time? Did he decide to leave?
God, what happened? He talked about it on the show, but it's been a while. I feel like then the second time they decided again to let him go, but he felt at that point he had done what he wanted to do there. Like the first time it was like he felt like he was just kind of getting warmed up. But I asked him, I was like, don't you feel like it takes you a little while to kind of fit into the culture there? And you, I mean, you've done the show, so you probably have a take on it. Cause I was like, I would feel like it would just take a while to just figure out like, how do I get my shit on? How do I do this? Right.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, I felt that way. And then I asked, Farrell about it. And I was like, do you feel like it took you a little while? And Will's like, no. Well, not really. I feel like I figured it out right away. So, I'm sure there's some guys that just
I didn't know where sketches go. Everybody had computers and they would hit a button and it would go to the sketch department. And I'm like at a yellow legal pad and a pencil and I'm done. It's 4 a.m. I'm looking for another human to ask. Right. And I go, where do I put this?
Yeah.
And they go, oh, you got to go see Hillary over where the writer's assistants are. And you're on the entire 17th floor.
Right. Like you don't even know where that is.
And I'm like walking into other people's board meetings.
So like nobody making that easier for you? Like nobody.
Oh, no.
Right? Nobody.
They say like I was a square peg in a round hole. I was a square peg in a round hole, but you need to imagine throwing the square peg from across the street with traffic.
End over end.
With cars
underhanded.
going and going and going.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't, even if I got there, it was just horrible.
It was pink. Yeah, I don't I mean, I can't even imagine. Everything I know about it is stuff I've just heard and stuff I've heard from you too, just about that culture.
You'd be good on it.
I mean, I love sketch. I mean, that's how I.
Do you like
started.
to write?
I love to write. Yeah.
When you write, are you more story or are you more like
I'm
joke?
more story than. Well, I love to write jokes. I mean, those are separate things. When I was
Let me make it easy for you. When you receive a script,
right?
Do you go? You can put a joke here. You can put a joke here, or are you more like this story needs to kind of be flushed out more? Does that make sense?
Both.
Both.
Really? Yes, that's just because.
And you really are a writer.
I love to write. I mean, I've written a book and I write articles all the time for magazines. I like to write. I've written drama. It was also because I did a bunch of drama.
What was it?
Swerve, yes.
Yeah,
Swerve,
I love
little buck. But you've done drama. I feel like if once you've done a bunch of drama, you can see story and character really specifically.
Yeah.
But when I get a comedy script, I'm just like, this isn't funny enough. Like someone needs to go punch, and you watch it and you go, is no one seeing there's a huge gaping fucking hole right here? Like anything could go there. It doesn't have to be a good joke, but there's to be something there. But I feel like those are two different ways of thinking about stuff.
Remember when
You've
Gary
done a
got
lot
married?
of dramatic acting there, Mr. Mohr.
Yeah, I'm working now on Burt Wonderstone with Steve Carell and Jim Carrey and Steve Buscemi. And I realized this is my actual first comedy.
Yeah.
41 years old. I've never been like the guy with two scenes that walks in and says funny shit.
No,
in a group of other like Anchorman.
And I'm thinking whatever. Like with McGuire, you were this. I mean, you had funny moments, but you were a straight guy.
And I've done a comedy like Mafia, but I had to play everything straight because all the goofy shit happens around you.
Yeah, yeah.
You can't be in on it.
That's exciting, though.
Very exciting.
Yeah, that's
very
great.
Fun.
Good
Steve
group
Carell
of people. Yeah. Oh yeah.
So sweet. But I remember the reason I asked you was on Gary I'm Married. We'd do like a table read. And I would look at Jimmy Burrows and I go, look, here, the kid needs to say this up here. Like I would just move shit.
Yeah.
But that's all like SNL, like going to Vietnam.
Just trying to hit hard. Like let's fucking punch. Yeah, let's go.
And he'd go, sweetie, this story needs so much work. And I remember going like, story? It's a fucking 22-minute, like, they don't get along. They got to share their kids. It's wacky, and it's on at 8:30. Like, fuck story. Right. Let's just kick him in the face with jokes and get the fuck out of here. Exactly. No one, do you think anybody ever watched, like, King of Queens and went, but really, where did that story go?
Right. What about the character development?
He was eating chicken wings off his chest.
That's ridiculous. That's not even in character for him.
No, you're right. Bless his heart.
Right. No, that also, I feel like, I don't know, sometimes people get mired in that shit, though. Like, you ever see a script and you read it and it's hilarious, then they go back and fix it for story, and then it comes back, it's not funny anymore.
Yes, I have seen that.
You know what I mean? And you're like...
So I never think story. That's very interesting. You really must be a smart Dartmouth grad.
I don't know. I love...
Who got her licks in.
I got my licks in.
And because I'm always just, like you said, like it's almost... Okay. For those of you in the Inland Empire listening that have no idea about show business,
I love how wide-ranging your listening audience is.
I just keep hitting the Inland Empire.
As far north as as Valencia and as far east as the Inland Empire.
From Baja to the Canadian Rockies, this is Sports Night with Jay and Aisha, and we have 10 phone lines.
None of them are lighting up.
None of them. We should take calls, especially with fucking Archer in the house,
right? No one knows when you record. Do you have like an actual...
We could tweet it and do it next. We could Skype people in.
I almost tweeted questions for Aisha, and I'm like, fuck that. I got questions for Aisha.
Yeah, you got plenty of
questions.
My girl
from way back.
You're on fire. You don't need
But
help.
It's almost, for those of you right now listening on an elliptical at the Ritz-Carlton in Denver.
Fancy motherfuckers.
I guess. Filling a joke hole, for lack of a better expression. It's literally, if you're in an elevator and somebody says God bless you, and if you don't say, if someone sneezes and you don't say God bless you right away, those few seconds that go by, you get almost that private angst of, now should I say it? Now it's just too late.
Yeah.
Like that 2-second window is what you see on the page. Like you just see a series of hachu, and you go, no one, just fucking write God bless you right here.
No one's seeing it.
Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, absolutely.
As I was saying it, I'm like, did I get fucking high between?
Well, it's possible.
He did.
But no, I mean, that's like the, I always talk about this, like and it's such a pretentious phrase, but I always talk about the math of comedy that like,
no, it's not pretentious. It's not, hold on. It's not let yourself off the hook. There's nothing it's like music.
Right.
There's nothing pretentious. There's scales to it.
Right.
You got to learn the rules before you can break them. It's all true.
And once it's in you, you see it all the time. You see it everywhere. And whenever I've gone into somebody else's stuff and I'm like, I'm not gonna, you don't have to take my joke, but someone needs to put a joke there. Like that is just a hole. It's just missing. So I definitely see and feel that. And then a lot of times on sitcoms, they're like, no, we want to fall in love right now. This is going to be a moment.
You were on Friends. That was Jimmy Burrows.
Burrows did a lot of those episodes, yeah.
But you had a guy name in Friends. Charlie?
I had Charlie, Charlie Wheeler.
Season 9 and 10?
9 and 10.
How
Look
the
at
fuck
you.
did
You're so
Friends
well
go
researched.
9 and 10
10
seasons.
seasons.
You ever heard my impression of Friends?
Let's hear it.
Okay. Little too much information. Or, okay, I'm going to leave and come back in and make believe we didn't talk yet. And the place is going fucking batshit.
Bananas. They'd come out and they'd be like, hey, wow! Like everything that came out of their mouths, just genius. People crying, peeing themselves.
It's like crop circles to me.
They could not lose.
It's like crop circles to me.
This is my favorite Matt Perry. I love Matt Perry, first of all. He's a super nice guy and legitimately
he's the funny one.
Funny
in real
guy,
life.
like insanely funny.
Yes, okay.
And we're on stage at some point and we're doing some like we're rehearsing maybe, or it was like early, like maybe we like do these kind of like early runs. And he does this joke.
You just said rehearsing, by the way.
Did I say rehearsing?
We're rehearsing.
Okay, rehearsing or rehearsing.
No, rehearsing's cool.
Rehearsing's cool. It's like inside lingo. So we're rehearsing and we finish the scene and he goes, over the top for 10 fucking years. Like the loudest.
With so complete awareness.
Right, yeah, totally.
Wow, that makes me love him.
He's great. He's the greatest.
My wife and I are always like, Matt Perry's not like the others.
He was so, I mean, look, they all honed what they did to like a point and they did it.
One of them was a fucking haircut. Let's not kid each other. And I'm talking about fucking Courtney Cox and that stupid fucking Courtney Cox haircut that gets shoved down her throat. It is like, how come Jennifer Aniston and Courtney Cox are the only two that are ever like in the tabloids? Jennifer Aniston's been pregnant for 14 years. And it'll say
with adopted twins.
It'll say, yes, I'm pregnant.
Right. Oh yeah. Every 3 or 4 weeks.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. I don't know. They got nothing to do.
Did you become real close with any of them? Or not really?
Closest with Lisa Kudrow. Yeah, we developed together the year following. She produced it.
Really?
For me. Yeah, for CBS. Yeah. We hung out.
Was that the Aisha Tyler talk show?
It ended up being called My Life Incorporated. It was a pilot about like a girl who worked at a city company, gets acquired by like a suburban conglomerate, and she's got to she's like an urban girl. She's got to go like train out
Fish
to the
out
suburbs.
of water.
Fish out of water. It was
Kinda
me,
like
Adam
you.
Goldberg played my best friend. Fucking
Who did?
genius, Adam Goldberg.
Yes.
Brilliant actor, unbelievable.
Jewish
I love that guy.
With the Hebrew hammer?
But yeah, the Hebrew Hammer. I love that guy. He's so funny. Didn't get picked up obviously, but it was a great experience.
How many hours do you put in? Like, what's the work schedule for Archer? Because people are like, this is going to be people are like, you didn't talk about Archer enough.
I know. Okay.
You know how they are.
One
Mountain
to 2
Dew
hours.
drinking neckbeards.
Neckbeards with the Cheeto fingers. The Cheeto fingers and all the gamer score accomplishments, all your achievements. Orange.
I was like, if you're not going to take it, I'll take it.
One side. Take it. Don't let it sit there. What did we talk about?
Only on one side is great. Wow. I hit a double and first pitch, she fucking brings me home. She bombs one out.
I'm here for you. I'm a team. I'm
only on one
support.
side. You know why? Because they can only do it like this.
Just do it.
They never have to wrap all the way around. They can't. It's too small. They have to go like this.
Pinching, fingertip.
So
snap.
Sad.
And also they get there too quickly to really just settle into any kind of motion. So why are we talking about this? Cheeto masturbation. That's all I'm going to think about for the rest of the day is Cheeto masturbation.
You should. You got so much. You got these heavy-hitting topics on the talk. And Julie Chen, like, if you make her mad, you're fucking out.
No, she's the greatest. She's
I do like Julie.
She's the most laid-back person.
I know.
And also one of those people
I just was making a boss.
Oh, I know, of course. And yeah, she's one of those people who you have an idea about somebody and then you meet them and they're nothing like whatever your idea was about them.
Yeah, I was surprised how cool she was.
She's super cool. And
I keep
funny.
going, if she really likes me, she'll tell Les and I'll have a show again.
It's entirely possible. We're going to all look at the face.
Work schedule, Archer.
You're buried. The problem with you is that you're buried under your lack of work. You're like, I'm doing a movie.
Well, we talked when you came in. I said, never buy a house when you have a show.
Oh yeah, we both did the same thing. I still have my house, and obviously so do you. But I bought my house when I had 2 TV shows, and I was, I'm loaded. And then I quit one, and then one quit me. Like I remember vividly standing in my office, saying something along the lines of, let's set this fucking place on fire and get and get the fuck out.
To Jeff?
To Jeff. I was like, let's just cut our losses. I don't want to deal with it anymore. You know, you just get like, there are times in and this was a lot younger.
The only reason Jeff talked you out of it is because he never wanted to admit to you he never got any insurance on the house. Fire, theft, flood, earthquake. He's like, I took care of it. He's a lawyer,
the
right?
auto policy's not going to cover it. Yeah, he's a lawyer.
He's like, I took care of it. He's like, nah, we can save some.
It's a bad idea.
Fire insurance.
Had I gotten friends at that point, or was I off friends? I might have been before friends. I can't remember.
Better kisser, Joey or Chandler?